So today we will be talking about subquery, what subquery is, how many type of subquery we have, and in which type of clauses we use our subquery. All these topics will be covered today. So what you guys think what subquery is? What do you think what subquery is? Just try to guess what subquery means. Yeah, correct, Vishali, correct, Cynthia. So as the word says, yeah, right, Pankaj. So as the word says, subquery. Subquery means query inside a query. When we write a query inside a SQL query, that is what subquery is. So if I give you one example of that, it is also known as nested query. Nested query and subquery both are the same things. So let's talk about one question so that you will get to know what subquery is. So I want those employee whose salary is greater than the average salary. So if you see this question, first what we need to find out? First we need to find out the average salary, right? Then we can compare it with my salary. With my employee salary, I can compare that. We have done this question with the help of CT in our previous class. Now we will do it with the help of subquery. So how we can do it? So first I will find out the average salary. Select average salary from my employee table. If I run this, you can see that my average salary is 3482. 3482. That's my average salary. So I want those employee where my salary is greater than 3482, right? Because it's my average salary. So I want the salary which is greater than 3482, correct everyone? Yes. So if I run this query, I will get my answer. But the thing is, this query is not dynamic anymore. If I just insert a column, my answer will be fully changed because my average salary will be changed, right? So this query is not dynamic. It will not change as your like query will be changed. So how you can make it? You can just copy down this thing and you can paste it here and it will work as your subquery. You're using this subquery in your where clause here. So here you can see that I'm getting same answer. Is this question clear to everyone? Okay, so let me repeat again. So here you can see that sentence. I want employee whose salary is greater than the average salary, right? So how can I find my average salary? I can find my average salary with the syntax, right? Select average salary from my employee table. This will give me 3482. If I just place it here, if I just place it over here, it is giving me the same answer, no? Here salary is greater than the average salary. My average salary is 3482. If I run this query, I will get my answer. I will get all those salary which are greater than 3482, which is my average salary, right? Right, Senthil? Yes. But the thing is, this query is not dynamic. What I mean by dynamic means if I insert one row, maybe I will insert one row where my salary is something. So my average salary will be increased, right? My average salary will be different for the person because I have inserted some value. So that's why we can't do it in this form. So that's why I will copy down this part. I will paste over there. and I will put this thing in my bracket. And here I'm using a subquery in my where clause. Is this thing clear to everyone? Nine people are over there to let me know is this thing clear to you or not. Yes. Okay. So let's talk about the types now. So here you can see that we are using a query inside a query. This is my outer query, and we are using a query inside a query, right? So this is what subquery is. This part is my subquery, the query that you are writing inside a query. Okay? Do you get the definition? Okay. So now let us talk about the types that we have. So our first type is scalar subquery. Then we have multi-row, multiple row subquery. And at the end, we have correlated query, subquery. So let's talk about the scalar subquery. So what scalar subquery means? That means that my subquery will only give me one row and one column. So here you can see that this is the part of my subquery, right? This is my subquery here, right? Yes or no, everyone? This is my subquery here. If I run this part, how many rows and columns are we getting? How many rows and columns are we getting? One, correct? So this is also an example of scalar subquery, where my subquery is giving me one row and one column. Okay, is it clear to you? Now let us do this question with another way, like how to use subquery in our from clause. So I want the salary, I want the same thing that my salary is greater than my average salary. So this will also show you that we can do one question in multiple ways. So if I will write that select from. So I'm selecting from my employee table, as well as I want to select my average salary. So I'm doing that also. I'm joining my that table also in a subquery. Select. I want to have average salary, and I'm giving a alias as average here from my table employee. And here I'm giving the table alias as E2, and here I'm giving it as E1. And then we are using the join, so we have to give the on condition. So our on condition will be that my E1 salary dot salary is greater than my average salary. So I will write that only. And I want everything, so I'm writing star over there. So let's run this. Is this part clear? Like how I did the same question with the help of subquery in our from condition. Do you want me to like repeat this again? I'm doing nothing. I'm just, okay, so let me repeat. So select and from. So I'm joining these two things. I'm joining my employee table and I'm giving a alias as even. I'm joining my employee table with this, where I am finding my average salary. Okay. So I'm joining these two tables where I am finding the average salary and the employee table. And then we have to give the alias on condition also because we are joining the things. So we want the salary which is greater than my average salary. So I'm giving that only. Average salary I'm getting from my inner query, na? From my subquery part. So I'm giving that only here. And I want everything, so I'm writing star over there. Are you able to understand it now? Any confusion to anyone? And here, if I show you my subquery part only, how many rows and columns are we getting from my subquery part? How many rows and columns are we getting from my subquery part? One. So which type of subquery it is? Scalar. SCALAR. Okay. So this is scalar subquery. Now let us talk about multiple row subquery. What do you guys think what multiple row subquery is? You can like guess from the name also. What do you think what multiple row subquery will be? Okay, so you guys are kind of correct, both of you. So what multiple row subquery is? Multiple row subquery can be one column and multiple rows, or multiple column and multiple rows. So my rows should be multiple, but column can be one or many. Okay? Do you get this part? So my rows should be multiple, but column can be one or many. Do let me know if you get this. Okay. So let us talk about the first part. One column and multiple row subquery. Where in our subquery we have one column and multiple rows. So my question is that I want to find employees who earn the highest salary in each department. I will tell you two ways to do this question because one way will not work in Microsoft SQL. That one way can work in MySQL or other servers. So first I will tell you that way, which will not work in MS SQL, but you can use in other servers. So I want to find out the employee who earned the highest salary in each department, right? So first we need to find out the highest salary in each department, correct? First we need to find out the highest salary in each department. So how can we find out that? Try to find out this part. You guys can do that. Highest salary in each department. Let me just show you the table so that you can do that. So tell me, how can I do this part? Highest salary from each department. This is your table from where you have to do this. No, Senthil, you are wrong. Vishali, you are wrong too. I want to find out the highest salary in each department. Now you are correct, Senthil. Correct. Correct, Pankaj. But the department name, column name is department name, not department. So just keep that thing in mind. Other things are correct, Pankaj. Then Kavita. Kavita, you are correct too. Vishali, correct. No. Priyanshu, you are wrong. So we can do that with the help of, no, Vijay, no. We can do that with the help of group by, right? I want each department, so I want to have the department name and I want to have the maximum salary. So I will have it from my table, employee, and I'm using a aggregate column with a non-aggregate column. I'm using a aggregate column with a non-aggregate column. So group by will be compulsory for me. And in group by, I will give all the non-aggregate columns, which is department name. So that's how I can find out the things, right? I got the department name and the maximum salary for each department, correct? Is this much clear to everyone what I did? Now I want to compare. So I want to compare that select star from employee where, so I'm putting the bracket. I want to compare the uh, department name and salary because I want those salary, maximum salary part I want. So in, then you will write select this thing. B and I'm giving it maximum. So this will give me those department, this will give me those employee whose salary is maximum. So this will compare both of these things. Okay, is this clear to everyone? But this query will not work in my Microsoft SQL. It will work in MySQL or other servers like Oracle and everything. It will not work in MySQL, Microsoft SQL. Okay, but you get this query, right? I will tell you another way to do this. You get this query, how I did it. In Microsoft SQL, we can't give two condition in our where clause like in bracket as we did here. But in MySQL, we can give that. And in other servers, we can do the same thing. So I just want to tell you the easy way. That's why I have written there. Now let us do this question where we can do it in Microsoft SQL. So what will I do? I will just join these two tables, this table and the table that we have created, the query that we have created. So I will just join these two query with the help of join. So select from employee and I'm giving a alias as E1 here and I'm joining it with this query that we have created. Like how we did our before question, I will do in that way only. Okay. So I'm joining it and I'm giving a alias as E2 here. And here for maximum salary, I'm giving maximum as alias. Okay. This part is clear to everyone what I did here. Now one thing is left. What you guys think what thing is left here? What thing is left here? Tell me if I am joining something, what thing is compulsory? On condition. So I have to give the on condition. What is the on condition that I have to give? That my E1 salary is equals to my E2 salary maximum. Here we have maximum as that. Maximum. And what other thing I have to give? That the department should be same too. Correct? My department should be same too, right? Equals to my E2 dot debt name. Is this query clear to everyone? What I did here? So you can see that I will get those employee name whose salary is the maximum in each department. Is this clear to everyone? Please explain the on condition. So Senthil, what I want here is, I want those salary which is maximum, correct? Yes. So I have written that my E1 salary should be equal to my maximum salary. From here we have find out the maximum salary na, by using max. Right? Where Priyanshu? And then I want from each department. So my department name should be same, correct? Senthil? I want from each department. So my department name should also be same. So I have written that here. So that my department name should be same and my salary should be maximum in that department. Are you guys able to understand this part? Before department column, where you can tell me the name of the line, like which line you are talking about, Priyanshu. Yeah, you have to give that. Otherwise, it will only give the salary which is maximum. If I just remove this part, it will only give the salary which is maximum. Right? It is giving me everything I want from each department. So that's why I put that part. The table am I talking? In the execution part. Here? Here you are talking about that? In this? Before department name. I'm not able to understand where, like in this part or in any other line. In the result, salary column is also there, no? In the result. Okay, this maximum part you are talking about. Why are we getting this maximum part, right? Are you asking me that? No, no, salary part. Because we want the maximum salary. If you just want to adjust the columns, you can do it here. For example, you just want the employee name so that you can give like that only. Employee name. You can adjust the column name from here, Priyanshu. A second. You can adjust the column name from here. From your select clause, you can adjust the column name. If you want the salary, you can write it down. If you don't want the salary, you don't need to. If you just want the employee name, you can write that down. Okay? Do you get that? Any confusion to anyone in any of these part? Like how I find out the maximum salary from each department. This question is really important. I will tell you how you can do this with the help of window function also in our next class. These type of questions are really asked. So any confusion to anyone? You can do these questions with the help of CTE also. We learned about CTE yesterday, na? You can do this means in our previous class. So you can do these questions with the help of CTE also. CTE is little bit faster because you don't need to execute the table again and again. It will just execute at the one time. I will tell you about correlated query. At that point of time, you will get it. Right. Now let us talk. Any confusion to anyone in both of these ways? I told you both of these ways because you should know. Okay. I'm not getting any answer. Yes or no? Do you want me to proceed now? Yeah, it's little bit tricky. For that, you have to do practice. Just give me a second. I will proceed then. Advanced topics are always favorite for the interview purpose, like CTE, subquery, window function. Because every topic will be covered in these only, no? And about which one is faster, both are faster on their own way. It depends on the query that you are optimizing. When we were optimizing the correlated query, it's slower. Correlated queries, subqueries are slower as comparatively to CTs and other things. So it depends on the type of query that you are writing. So the faster and the things depends on that. Okay? The one who is asking me that thing, Senthil. So we can't specify which one is faster. It depends on the query that you are writing. Senthil, are you able to get that? Okay. So Priyanshu was asking me that which topics are favorite for interviewer. So they usually ask you advanced topics only, like CT, subquery, window function, because everything will be covered in these parts only, na? Like everything that you have learned before, everything will be covered from here. When you write any subquery, you have to use group by, you might have to use having clause also. So everything will be covered in these things. So that's why you need to like have a good hand on your advanced topics. They will ask you these topics only. Yeah, joins we are not using join, we are using join here, no? Self join is also very important for the interview purpose. The question that I told you, na, cumulative sum, how to find cumulative sum with the help of self join. This question is asked in many times. You can find out cumulative sum using window function also, but they ask you to do it with the help of self join because it's little tricky. If you guys remember how we did that. Self join part is little tricky, so they ask you self join part also. And joins, we use joins in many questions. Like that, we are right now we are like joining these two queries together. The employee data set and the sales data set, you are asking the data set that I am using right now. I will share it to you after the class, okay? You might have this, I might have shared you before, but I will share it again after this class. So let's talk about, okay, one more thing I have to say to you that this is the example. Okay, kindly don't do that. Okay, so I just told you that this is the example of one column and multiple row subquery, which is like multiple row, one column should be there and multiple rows should be there in my subquery. If I run my subquery part, if I only run my subquery part, you will tell me how many rows we have right now. Not here. We have multiple rows, correct? And multiple column. So it is the example of which type of multiple query? Tell me everyone. We have multiple columns and multiple row. So which type of multiple row subquery it is? We are writing in from clause only, Kavita. You can see that. We are writing subquery in our from clause. I'm not able to get you what you have written multiple. Till then, you guys can answer me one thing now. If I just run my subquery part, see, I'm just running my subquery part. How many columns and rows am I getting? Am I getting one row and one column and multiple row? Two columns are there, Vijay. Department name and maximum. Two columns are there. So it is an example of multiple column and multiple row. We have multiple rows, four rows are there and two columns are there. So it is an example of multiple row and multiple column. Is this clear to everyone? Yeah, today's class is about subquery, Rahul. You can go through videos. If you might face any confusion, you can ask me in our next class. So now let us talk about one column and multiple row subquery. One column and multiple row. So my question is, I want to find out the department who don't have any employee. How can I do that? So let me show you my both the tables that I have. So let me run both of these tables. You can see that the above one is my department table in which all the departments are given. And the below table is my employee table where the employees and the department they are working on is given. Okay? Can you see that? Okay. So can I do in that way that first I will find out, if I just find out all the departments from my department table, if I just find out all the departments from my department table, and then I just say that they should not exist or not in my table, this one, that my department should not be in my employee table. Because in my employee table, I have only those departments which are having some employee, right? In my below table, in my employee table, I only have those departments in which someone is working, correct? Tell me yes or no. Yes. If I just minus them will my overall department. Like you can see that here all the departments are here. So from all these departments, if I just minus the department that have employee, then I will get the department that don't have any employee, correct? Are you guys able to understand me? Then I will tell you how you can write the query for that. Are you guys able to understand me? Write yes or no. Okay. So how we can do it? First, I will find out all the departments from my department table. Okay. Then in where clause, I will write that where department name, my department name should not be in my employee table department, right? Select department name. Just a second. Department name from my employee table. Let me give distinct department because departments are repeating in there. Are you able to get that? Here, from this query, I will get all the department name from my employee table. This will give me all the department name from my employee table, which is admin, finance, HR, and IT. And if I just see my department table, what are the department that I have? Admin, finance, HR, IT, marketing, and sales. You can see here that marketing and sales don't have an employee. When we run this query, we didn't find the marketing and sales part, correct? So we have just written that only, that my department should not be in this part. Then I will get the all the department that do not have any employee. Are you guys able to understand what I'm trying to tell you? First, I just find out all the department that are in my employee table. I just find out all the department that are in my employee table. Department from employee. If I just run this part, you can see that I will get all the department that are in my employee table, but the things are repeating here. So I just put distinct. So it will give me all the departments that have any employee. All these departments have some employees, but I don't want that department that have an employee. So I have just written there that my department should not have this thing, should not have these department names. Are you guys able to understand what I'm trying to tell you? Senthil, Kavita, Vijay, Priyanshu. If I give you one question, will you be able to do that? Okay. So I want those department which have employees in it. Try to do this in this format only. You can do one question in multiple ways, but I want you to do in this format so that I will get to know that you guys are able to understand this part. Good, Senthil, but you have written the column name wrong. Other things are correct. The column name is department name. Where department name in? Other things are correct. Good. Correct, Kavita. Correct, Senthil. Good, everyone. Good, Vishali. Good, Vijay. Good, Priyanshu. You don't need to write this query. I just put it so that I want to explain you guys what it is happening. You don't need to write this part, Priyanshu. Good, Pankaj. So I think this question is clear to everyone, right? Yes. Now let us talk about correlated query. If I just talk about my previous queries, so what you think, which part is working here? Which part is working first? This part or this part? My outer query or my inner query? Which part is working here first? I want everyone answer. You guys can like guess also. No matter if it's wrong or right, try to guess. Okay, everybody is writing inner. Yes, inner part is working here. First, I am getting to have the department name from my employee table. Then only I am comparing here, right? Right, Senthil? First, I just find out the department, then only I am comparing. So we can see here that inner part is working. If I just talk about the previous topics also. First, this thing is working, and then we are able to join the parts, right? First, we are finding the maximum salary of each department, and then we are joining this part, and we are able to get our answer, correct? So from here also, inner query is working. Here also, first it is giving the department and the maximum salary, then it is comparing it from the department name and salary from my employee table. So here also inner query is working first. So are you guys able to get it that here inner query is working first? If I just run this part, we can see that we will get an answer for this thing. We are getting the answer for my inner query, right? Right, yes or no? We are getting answer for inner query now if I just execute this much part. Because this thing is working first. But for the correlated query, what will happen? Correlated query means, as the name says, what the name says, what you think, which thing will work first in correlated query, what the definition will be. I have just given you the hint for that. So it is the query correlated, right? The query is correlated. Yeah, interrelated, correlated. So my both of these query are interrelated. So that's the definition will be a subquery which is related to the outer query. Is this clear to everyone? Is the definition clear? I will tell you one example how it's working and how it is working. So let's talk about one example. So my question is that I want those employed I want employee. Are you guys able to hear me? Because it's written here that my internet connection is little bit weak. Are you guys able to hear me? Do let me know. Yes, okay. My voice is clear, right? Yes, okay. So I want those employee from each department. I want employee from each department where salary is greater than my average salary of that department. Can you guys see that? What is the difference between my previous question and this question? In my previous question, find out the employee whose salary is greater than the average salary. But here we are finding out the employees whose salary is greater than average salary, but for each department, right? What's the difference that you are feeling here? I have just told you just now. What is the difference between both of these questions? Here I want to find out those employees from each department. In before question, we want only those employees, like the total. We want that. Like we have find out the average of whole table. Here we have want to find out the average of each department. We want the department wise employee, right? Are you guys able to understand what I'm trying to tell you? Yes. So how we can do this? Let me tell you how you can do this with the help of correlated query. One question can be done in multiple ways, but I just want to explain you correlated subquery here. So I will do in that way only. So I want to have everything from my employee table, from employer E1, where my salary is greater than what? I want to have select average salary. I want that salary should be greater than the average salary, right? From my employee table only. But what should be the condition? That my department name should be same. That my E1 department should be same as my E2 department. Let me write it here. E1 department name should be equals to my E2 department name. So that's the thing. Are you guys able to understand what I have written here? Where? Are you guys able to understand this part? I've just written that my salary should be greater than my average salary, but my department should be same. Are you guys able to understand this part? Do let me know. No, yes or no is there? No. Okay, so Vishali, what I have written there, I want those salary which is greater than my average salary. You get this much part, right? Are you able to understand this much part that I have highlighted? And from my employee table, you have understood this also. Then I have given the condition that the department should be same because I want the salaries from each department. I want the salary from the each department. That's why I have written that there that the department name should be same. Are you able to get this now? Okay. So if I run this much part, how many of you think that it will work? If I just run my subquery part, how many of you think that it will run? Give me reason also why it will not work. Give me reason also why it will work and why it will not work according to you. Try to guess and try to give me. Where we need to use group by, Pankaj? Where we need to use group by? So yes, this query will not work. Why it will not work? Because it's depending on my outer query also. You can see that I have written E1 condition. So it's depending on my outer query. This query will run when we run the whole query. Get it? So here you can see that we are creating a relationship between both of these inner and outer query. We don't want highest salary, Pankaj. We want salary which is greater than the average salary for each department. We can do one question in multiple ways. Maybe you are doing this question with other way. You can do this question with multiple ways. It's according to you. I just want to explain you correlated queries. So that's why I have written in this way. Okay. You can write your solution in the chat box. I will check it. You can do one question in multiple ways. I'm doing it with the help of correlated because I want to explain that. Are you guys able to understand this question? So this inner query will not work because it is correlated to my outer query. This query will work when we run the whole query. So how it is working? It is working for one, like when the department is admin, then it is working. When the department is finance, then it is working like that. For every row, it is working. For every time, for every row, this inner query is working. So if we have like million of rows, then how many times this query will run? If we have million of rows, this query will run million of time, correct? So that's why correlated queries are comparatively slower than other queries and CTs. Okay. Are you guys able to understand this part? You can do this question without correlated query also. Correlated subquery also. You can do this question without that also. But I want to explain you. That's why I've did in this way. Is this clear to everyone? To let me know. Then I have to explain you one more question. Yeah, it's a bit tricky. You have to practice, then only you will become handy on these topic. Yeah, you can use inner query in from clause also. Yeah, you can write inner query in from clause also. We have did before also, na? Here you can see that I have written inner query in my from clause by using my join condition. You can do that. Try to solve this. You can ping your answers in the group or personally also. I will check it. So the next question, which is usually done with the help of correlated query, the questions like that. So the question is, I want to find the department who don't have any employee. We did this question with the help of multiple row subquery also, na? We can do that with the help of correlated query also. How? Let me tell you. So right now I'm taking everything from my department table and I am giving the condition that where not exist. I will tell you what not exist does. Not exist, and I'm writing here that I want to select one. I will tell you everything why I'm doing this from my employee table E where E dot department name equals to, let me give a alias here, D dot department name. I know you will not be able to understand it now. I will explain you, then you will get that part. Let me run this. So it's giving me the answer also. So how it is working, let me explain you that part. So what not exist does, first you need to know what exist does. Okay. So what it does, it will give me true or false. If my condition is true, if I just use the exist part, if my condition is true, then my outer query will run. So I want to have those employees where my department name in my employee table should be there and in my department table should be there. Are you able to get this part? Why have I written 1? You can write 2 also, you can write star also, you can write anything. If this thing will give me true, then I will get all those employees that are working in any department. If I run this much, you can see that I will get all those employees that are working in any department. What not exist will does, if this statement will true, then it will not run. If this statement is false, then it will run. Do you want me to explain this again? Yes, repeat it. Okay. So see, Vijay, what we are doing here. Okay, let me show you the data also. I will tell you that also, Kavita. So in department table, we have all the departments, correct? In department table, all departments are there. In department table. And in employee table, all the department in which employee is working, we have. है ना? All department in which employee is there. In which employee is working. That we have in our employee table. So what we are doing here, what we are doing with this, so what exist does. So exist give me true and false condition. If it is true, exist, let me tell you exist. So what exist will give me, it will give me true or false. If my condition is true, then it will give me the result of my outer query. Okay. If my result is false, then it will not give me the result of outer query. So what my inner query is, why have I written 1? Why haven't I written anything else? I have written 1 because I can write anything else also. It doesn't matter. I can write star also. It doesn't matter. I just want to find out whether this thing is true or false. Okay. So when, what I have written here, when my department name from my employee table is equals to my department name in my department table. If that department is in my employee table also and it is also in my department name, then is my employee working in that department or not? If I have department in my employee table also and in my department name table also, then tell me, is the employee working in that department or not? Tell me yes or no. Are you guys able to understand this part? Only one person is answering. That's why I'm asking. So that's why I've written 1. Because we don't need to like focus on this 1. Because it just gave me true or false. If this condition is true, if the department is in employee table also and it is in my department table also, as it is written in my where condition, then it will give true. And if true is there, then this outer query will run. Then it will give everything from my department table. Are you guys able to understand about the exist part? What exist does? It will just give me true and false. If that condition is true, it will just run my outer query. And if the condition is false, it will not give me the result. Are you guys able to understand this part now? Yeah, let me run this. If I run this part, will I get all the employees working in the department? I will get all the department in which employee is working, right? Tell me yes or no. Yes. So here you can see that I got all the department in which employee is working. But if I just write not exist, what not exist does? So this query will give me the result when this statement is false, right? It's just the opposite of exist. This query will give me the result when this statement will give me false. Correct? So that's it. I want those department who don't have any employee. So that's why I got this answer. Did you understand what exist does? Everyone to let me know. Are you guys able to understand this question? Okay. Now our last question for today is about the nested query. Nested subquery. Though nested subquery is also a subquery, Nested subquery is also a subquery, na? If we are writing subquery inside a subquery, it is also a subquery, correct? Am I correct, everyone? But I have given the name because I just want to show you how we can use multiple subqueries in a query. Okay? How we can use multiple subquery in a query. So, what I want to find out, let me just use my table first. Do you guys remember about this table? We have used this table in our CT class also, right? I am giving you the same question that I want those store name where my total cost, where my total sales or total price is greater than my average price. Okay. So for finding the average price for each store, we have to find the total price. As I told you before, we have to find out the total price before finding out the average price because our store name is repeating. So we will get the wrong answer if we just find out the average as it is. Correct? First, we will find out the total price for each store. Then this will help us to find out the average. Correct? Average for all stores. Am I correct? Do let me know, everyone. Do you guys remember about this question? Okay, some people are writing yes, some. Okay, everyone is writing yes. So how can I find out the total price for each store? Try to do this part, the first part, which is very easy. You don't need to use even CTE for that. Total price for each store. How we can find out that? Try to do this. Good sentence. Good, Kavita. Pankaj, you are wrong. We are using a non-aggregate column with an aggregate column. So you have to use group by. It's mandatory for you. Okay? If you are using an aggregate column with a non-aggregate column, then it is mandatory for you to use the group by. And you haven't used it. Good, Vijay. Good, Vishali. So I think everyone is able to do this. So I want to find out total price for each department, for each store name. So I want to find out the total. So I am using sum price from my table sales. And then I have to group by it because I'm using a non-aggregate with an aggregate column. So I'm using a store name here. Is this much clear to everyone? How I find out total price for each store? Yes. Now I want to find out the average for all these stores. So how we can do that? I want to find out the average. So I want to find out the average. I'm giving a alias here as total. So I want to find out the average of total, correct? And from where? From this table. So I will just copy down this part because I want this table. That's why. Am I correct here? Do let me know, everyone. Yes. So I'm giving alias here as total. We have that. Then we will give alias here as, let's give a average. ठीक है. Total from sales. And I'm giving a alias to the outer query X. Okay. So this will give me the average for all these stores, right? This is the average for all these stores. Now I want to compare the value. Now I want the total. I want only those stores where total is greater than my average. Am I correct? Am I correct? So just what will I do? I will join these two queries. I will write select and I will just join these two queries. So here I am joining from this. I will just put the bracket. Don't forget to put the bracket. And I'm giving a alias as A here. And I want to join other query also. So I will copy down the whole part. And I'm giving a alias as B. So we have used the join. So what we have to use now? We have to give the on condition. Do I have to give the on condition here? So what will be the on condition? The on condition will be that my A dot total should be greater than my B dot average. Am I correct? Do you guys get this part? I know it is much easier with the help of CTE. You can do that. That's why I have told you about CTE before subquery. Because CTE is easier than subquery. Here you can see that, yeah, CTE is better than subquery for sure. Because you can't find out the mistake from this query. Even this query is very small, it's not that big, but you can't find out the mistake from even this part. So it's better to use subquery because you can just break down the parts in subquery na, in CTE na. So let's MS only these stores are there whose price is greater than the average price, whose total is greater than the average total. So that's all for today. Are you guys able to understand today's topics? Are you guys able to understand subquery? I'm just pausing this.